Bring the excitement. Let's go.
Good evening, Cougar football fans. Welcome inside Lavelle Edwards Stadium on the beautiful Brigham Young University campus in Provo, Utah, as homecoming week comes to a close with the Cougars playing their first home game in 22 days. It's BYU and Texas Tech for only the second time all-time and the first time in 83 years. Option to the right, the pitch back to L.J. Martin. Good block to spring L.J. L.J.'s got a first down and more! He's at midfield! The 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. He's caught from behind and dragged down at the 20. Slovis gun, 3rd and goal from the 2. In the gun, the hand clap, the snap, the short drop, the sprint out to the right. Keaton throws, and it's caught by Chase Roberts for the touchdown! The Cougars open on top. They score on their first possession. They score a TD on their opening drive. It's 6-0 BYU with the PAT pending. 4th and less than a football length. They motion in a tight end. And Strong dropped the football on the exchange. Falls for a loss of yardage, and BYU will take it over on downs. Jake Strong hands off to Brooks, and Brooks drops the football and still loose, and it's in the end zone, and the Cougs recover for the touchdown! Eddie Heckard comes out of the pile with the football, and BYU scores on defense. Low snap, gets it to Brooks. This time it's a clean handoff, but Brooks gets nothing. He's driven back. Wide right, Strong the hand clap, a knee-high snap, and on the slant it is deflected and incomplete. Slovis goes deep, and does Lassiter bring it in with one hand? He did! What a catch at the Texas Tech 40-yard liner inside. Darius Lassiter goes up and hauls it in with one hand on the sideline. A turn and handoff to LJ. Reverse, double throw on the flea flicker, and it's complete to Isaac Rex at the 10-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 4. They go motion, Aiden behind the quarterback, who takes a 3-step drop. Sets, fires, back of the end zone, touchdown! Darius Lassiter! And the Cougs make it 20-7 with 6:11 to go in quarter number 2. Long shotgun with Brooks. The handoff to Taj Brooks. Stutter step. Stacked up. Minimal gain. Strong awaits the shotgun snap. Claps the hands, receives it at chest height. And a deflected ball. A picked up ball. Eddie Heckard on the interception. Eddie on the run to the far side. Eddie may take this all the way. He's out of bounds. Oh, one man got it on the boundary. If that guy doesn't get it, Eddie is gone. But it's BYU football. Snap is back. The placement is down. Kick on its way, and it is through for 3. Will Farron, field goal number 5 on the year, and BYU makes it 24-7. 17-point lead with 59 seconds to go until halftime. You're 2nd and 20 at the Tech 43, and Strong guns it downfield. It is intercepted by Jacob Robinson. Jacob Robinson with his 4th pick of the year, and Jacob Robinson on the run near side, midfield and 40, and it was all BYU in half number 1. We've reached the break at 24-7 Cougars. In half number 2 for BYU. A turn and hand off to Martin. Good blocking for LJ. LJ second level. LJ 40 and 43-yard line. It's a 16-yard run. Red Raiders right to left. Quarterback draw after a look downfield, and no! A loss on the play. Siale Sarah in for the TFL. 4th down and 3. It's a sprint right. They will have him throw it. He throws on the run, and it is broken up. Incomplete at the BYU 35. Ethan Slade stepping in front of Jordan Brown, and the Cougars take over on downs for the 2nd time tonight. It would gain Texas Tech 7 yards, but goes into the end zone. Side spinner. This one's caught at the 10-yard line by Miles Price, and Price makes the decision pay off as he has a return to the 25 and the 30. The ball comes loose. It's still loose, and the Cougars have recovered! BYU football at the 44-yard line! 41-yard field goal on its way, and is through for 3. Another 40-pluser for Will, and BYU expands the lead to 20. Ball between the hash marks. The clap of Strong. Lobs it up for Bradley, and a pick off by BYU. It's the 5th turnover for the Red Raiders, and falling to the ground, sliding with it, is Ethan Slade on the INT. Texas Tech on the 3rd pick thrown by Jake Strong has its 5th takeaway of the night. The Cougs are +5 in the margin. Aiden Robbins on a 3rd and 13 run. Gets a second level run and nearly got it. Did he get it? That's a first down run.
Wow.
A 3rd and 13. That may be the one. The play of the night in this one.
BYU fans are so great, man. This was an intense environment tonight.
And that's an intense tackle. The clock goes to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we are done at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Happy homecoming, Cougar Nation.
Sriracha!
BYU wins it by a score of 27-14, and go to 500 in the Big 12 at 2-2, and go to 5-2 through 7.
All right, we're good, Kirsten. Maybe just hit him with an opening statement.
What's that?
Maybe just hit him with an opening statement.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you guys ready?
Do you have the camera on, Coach?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good. How you doing? I guess I can
Doing
see.
good.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thanks for being here. Go ahead, start with an opening statement, and then we'll take questions from the media.
Okay, thank you. Excited for another week of football. We're obviously coming off of a win last weekend. It was really good for us, and homecoming game. So now we're back into the schedule, heading out to Texas. I'm going out to Austin to play really, really good team, one of the best teams in the country. So well coached and coached by my buddy Sark. So I think looking at them and seeing them on film, we've been able to watch them play throughout the year. But tough task for us. But we should be working on an opportunity for us to play at our best this weekend. But watching them, there's not a lot of weaknesses, and I think the goal is for us to focus on what we can get done, and then get out there and give it our best shot and see what happens. If we can live with the results if we do that. Still feel like we can play better ball. I felt like we've had moments in the game against Texas Tech where we felt like this is what we're used to, maybe forming our identity off of that in all three phases. But also, it wasn't an error-free game, so still some things to work on, some things to improve on. I said this post-game last week on Saturday night that there's still room for improvement. But the thing that I am really thankful for is that we play with high effort, high energy. A lot of that came from the fans, and we're going on the road now, so we're going to have to generate that ourselves and try to do something that a lot of teams can't do, and that goes into a very hostile environment with a fantastic fan base. Then they have a really great team that's you see it on film all the positions, all three phases. Well coached team. I know their coaching staff, a lot of guys on their staff, they do an amazing job, and then Sark's been so good to me throughout our coaching careers. He's always been a guy that I can always turn to. We keep in touch quite often. Obviously, not going to be keeping in touch right now as we're opponents, but appreciate his friendship and the fact that he isn't a Cougar. He played here, and so it's nice that we were able to keep that friendship. But it's something that he does that I that I really appreciate him keeping in touch with me, and especially when his career took off and had this great trajectory, a lot faster than mine did. But he always were able to be kind enough to give me a lot of his time and be able to talk ball, and so it's been really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing him and getting on the field and seeing these teams compete against each other, and really hopeful that this is going to be an opportunity for our team to perform at our best, and that we can generate some momentum from last week, but going into this game, and try to find ways to make this a huge positive for us in the long run. I think the prep will be great for us this week. Had a great week of prep last week, and looking forward to keep building and trying to get to that position where we can hit our peak and keep getting better as a team. We saw some flashes of it in the game against Tech, but I think this is something that we're going to have to be a little bit more consistent and not be just flashes. We have to keep that and sustain it throughout the game, and looking forward to getting that done. Any questions you guys have?
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with Jared Lloyd and then John Kuhn.
You know us, Kalani. We've always got questions, don't we? I want to talk about the offensive inconsistency that you were just touching on. Talking about flashes, because there were moments that the offense looked really good, and then second half just didn't seem to ever kind of get that to click. What needs to happen to see that happen throughout the four quarters?
Well, I think when you talk about inconsistencies, they're all over the place. There just happen to be a little bit more on the offensive side, but it requires I think a lot of people want to look at it as a one-person problem or a one-position group problem. It's an 11-man problem, and probably extends even further into that when you're looking at the preparation, the depth that we have, and the guys that we use in rotation. So the execution's got to happen in practice, and then when we can get that execution happening in practice, put it on the game. We had some brilliant moments of where the guys were just clicking and it looked like we're all on the same page, and then all it takes is one guy not to be right, and we're going against really good teams, so it's not like you can just do whatever you decide and you're going against air. You got opponents on the other side of it that are really good too, and then if they're doing things right, it makes it even more difficult. And so I think that's where you find some of the inconsistencies. But for us, it's being able to just do it back to back to back and generate momentum so that we can get more points on the board and have success. But I don't think the key is it's not just one big play or one scheme. It's everyone doing it together. It's evident when we watch the film that we can do it and that we have the ability to do it. It's just getting everybody to trust it and to act on what we've seen already in practice. And so that's going to be the goal. That's my job as a head coach, and getting that from our assistants as well. And so we'll see. I feel like we're trending the right way. We're not very patient. I'm not a patient person, so it's got to happen soon. It'd be nice to have it happen this weekend.
Kalani, in terms of just making strides towards that offensive consistency, one area where you made tangible progress on Saturday was the running game. Season high 150 rushing yards. You guys averaged 5 yards per carry. How critical is that component in terms of establishing that consistent offensive identity, to just have that running game being productive and working the way you envisioned?
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of us being balanced and being able to do whatever we want on the call sheet. It's really hard when they're not functioning well, and so it's a good sign that our guys are doing things the right way. But it also helps that we're getting some momentum, and guys. When you watch the success that happens in the run game, it exactly goes back to what I said earlier, that all 11 guys are doing it the right way, and so if we can keep that consistency, then that should be there for us. And these negative yards that we've had in the past maybe turn into positive yards, even if it's a 1 or 2 yards, or then you rely on some effort, and then next thing you know, you're gaining more and more yards, and that gives you confidence, and then we've just got to keep it rolling. It was nice that we saw some flashes of it. It's good to get Aiden back, but we have capable running backs that we feel like can break the game open for us, and we're very close. It's just that's a cool thing to say, but then you watch Texas on defense, and they got playmakers all over the place. It's one of the best teams I've seen, talent and coached. I mean, they got so much athleticism, speed, and talent, and then they're coached really, really well. You don't see a lot of mistakes from them, or a lot of missed assignments, and that's in all three phases. So I like it because when you watch the film, you know that it gets the guys to be on it a little bit more.
Next, we'll have Mitch Harper and then Jake Hatch.
Kalani, earlier this morning, Sark was talking about things that Coach Edwards, he learned from Coach Edwards that he incorporates into his coaching style. I'm curious for you, with Coach Edwards being so influential in your life, what are things that you picked up from him that you continue to incorporate in your coaching over this program?
Pretty much all of it. I got into coaching because I love the way Lavelle coached me. I love the way that he worked with his staff. It's rough that he's not here with us anymore, but I keep in touch with his family quite often, and his wife Patty's awesome, and so she's been able to be still a mentor to me and the coaches and our wives, and so it's been really cool to have that influence still here. But you see it in everybody that's been coached by Lavelle, from Andy Reid to Sark to Kyle Whittingham to all these great players that were played here at BYU, and we all got into it because I'm sure we had a lot of good coaches along the way, but it's just nice when you have a college experience with Lavelle, and so much of what we do here is exactly what he did for me, and so I'm not a creator of anything, but when I see something that's really nice, I want to keep it going. And I enjoyed my time here at BYU as a player, as a student athlete, and so we're trying to drive that culture that I think can help win games and be a championship culture, and that's what we're trying to get done. And it fits right in line with what a lot of people do. It's not just Lavelle, but Lavelle is the best part of college football is people like him, and you see the influence that he's had in so many people's lives, and not just coaches, but in just there's a bunch of men that are out there that are doing things better because they got to play for a legend like Lavelle, and it's just really cool that a good number of them are coaching football.
When you were a player and student athlete, as you noted, you hosted Sark on his recruiting visit in '95. Can you take us back to what, if you remember much from that visit and what you did to host him?
Sark is all about ball, man, and he saw a really good team. I think the biggest concern from him during that time was if John Walsh was going to come out early for the draft or return for his senior year. And so I think all Sark was waiting for was that moment. I don't want to sit here and act like I did a great job. I mean, with the football at BYU speaks for itself, and so I don't think he came because of a host or because we went and hung out and I don't know what, played ping pong or whatever it was. I just think that he saw the camaraderie, the family atmosphere here, the love that the players had for each other, and he was drawn to it. And I was just a small part of it. But the thing that was really cool is that how it doesn't matter when you play, like me and Tom Homo speak the same language because we were raised in the same culture here. And Tom Wade played way before me, so at Lavelle's funeral services, we're all sitting there talking to each other. A lot of you're looking at these amazing men in life and in football, and you got Steve Young, Jim McMahon, and Andy Reid, all these great people that are in there, and we're talking about Lavelle, and we all assumed that we were Lavelle's favorite. And so it's amazing when you have thousands of players that are there that think that they were Lavelle's favorite. And I thought I was his favorite. So that's a really cool thing. And I think for me it's just the environment, the fan base, the football, but the experience is something else. And that's I think Sark will always have those memories of being here, man. He did some wonderful things here as a player, but you see the things that he's doing even after playing, keeping in touch with people and caring about others. That's the best part of Sark that I enjoy, and I've been a person that benefits from that. So his friendship and just his love and care, man, that's something special. And it's nice that he's doing great things in football, and I'm really excited about seeing him again and being out there and seeing our teams compete.
Kalani, I wanted to ask you, just in terms of your last time you guys played a top 10 ranked opponent on the road, it was in 2018 when you guys went to Wisconsin and won. Can you draw on any of that experience as you go into this matchup with the Longhorns?
Yeah, I think for us, we've been in big games before. We've been in tough environments to play. I don't think you need to build it up more than just what we want to get down to, which is the fundamentals and the basics of what we're not doing. The lack of execution, things like that. It's not like you're going to perform better because the stage is bigger and because the team's one of the best in the country, and they have a wonderful brand and a fantastic fan base. That's not it. It's the opportunities, and for me, it just makes the sense of urgency. It pushes it even more. So I don't even have to say much other than let's go and enjoy it. Let's go have some fun with this. But at the same time, the preparation doesn't happen when you just wake up on Saturday morning and get ready to play the game. It happens now. And I like the mindset of our guys and the prep. We know that we have to go into this game with a more sound mindset and be in a difficult place to play. Not a lot of teams can go in there and get a victory. And what a great opportunity it is for us, to perform at our best and see what happens, man. I want them to embrace it, but to also be thankful that they get this opportunity. And this is something I wish I could be doing as a player. Are you kidding me? You ask Sark and myself if we wish we were playing in this game, of course. And we wish we were in this conference, yes. And so let's build off of the appreciation and gratitude, and let's go do our best.
And also, in 5 of the 7 games you've played this year, you have not gone over 300 total yards on offense. Is there a concern that that may catch up with you at some point down the stretch run of the season?
Let's go win the game. I'm not going to sit there and stats can tell you the story and can tell you what you want to get done. I've already kind of made the statements on execution. I think those numbers will go up if we perform better. But I don't want us to go into this game thinking that we had to get a certain amount of yardage to get the victory. What's been really fulfilling is that you don't have to get the yardage, we can still win. We can find other ways to win. So I don't care what the stats look like. If the scoreboard works out in our favor, great. But I do know that the stats will help us show some deficiencies in places that we can address and then work at it. I'm very thankful for victories. Disappointed in the defeats, but there's lessons to be learned in all of that, and the stats can tell you the lessons. It makes it a little bit easier for you to see where the weaknesses and deficiencies are, and then you address those. I don't think it's wise to sit there and bypass it all and say, well, who cares? I don't believe in that either. So I get why you're mentioning it, but we're going to give it all the attention it deserves. But we also know that the solutions are the things that will drive what our motivation will be. It won't be fixated on just a one stat that we got to fix and get better. It would be let's do this, and that will be a byproduct of if we do things the right way. Hope that makes sense.
All right, we'll have some more questions from Sean Walker and then Jay Drew.
Yeah, Coach, I was just wondering if we could maybe elaborate a little bit more on your relationship with Coach Sark, and specifically how has your guys' relationship kind of evolved, I guess, since you both got into coaching and through coaching events and that kind of thing? How has it sort of evolved from, the guy who hosted him on his recruiting trip, I guess?
Well, I guess when we got into coaching, he was basically a GA at USC when we were going to conventions and we're nobodies. I mean, I still am a nobody, but we was a GA for Norm at SC, and I was a GA here at BYU, and we've always been in contact with each other. We've always stayed in contact, and that's because Sark cared to do that, And Sark was a great quarterback. I'm just a fullback, and so for him to allow me opportunities to connect with him, and then he had this trajectory in coaching that put him in a great spot where he was, in position. He became a position coach real quickly. I went to FCS. I went to Southern Utah, and he went to the NFL and did a lot of great things. Got position coaching jobs, and was never too big to answer a phone call or even to reach out. He would instigate a lot of the conversations. He would hit me up and communicate with me and see how I'm doing. And he just didn't do this with me. He did this with a lot of people. And so I appreciate him doing that. And every time I saw him, it was just like, he's like, became a head coach and a coordinator way faster than I did. And was the same guy, always the same, friendly, cared about me. And we would feed off each other. He would give me a lot of advice on certain things, especially when it came to the game of football. And then it was really cool that we would have this interaction, this friendship, and I appreciate it. It had nothing to do with me doing it. He was a driving force behind it all, and it definitely has helped me in my coaching career.
Well, my question is kind of similar to Jake's first question. BYU's had a lot of success against Texas over the years. Also had success, like you said, going into Wisconsin, a ranked team, and winning. Are you leveraging that at all? Are you bringing that up as you talk to the guys this week, that this has been done before by BYU teams?
Well, I think the guys are smart enough to know that too. I don't think I need to have a long list of reasons why things can be done. I think we have guys that love college football. And so you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't love the game. And so because of it, they watch it, they see it, they know the history. It's always good that when you say, hey, do you know that there's a list of things that you can go to? They do, and they bring it up. They help talk about it. I don't need to be the guy that comes up with all the ideas and the reminders. It's nice that the players do it themselves, and that's why I love the leadership on this team. They know a lot of the deficiencies, and when we're talking, the coaches speak to them, you can see them nodding their heads because they acknowledge it and they see it. And so we have a good, mature group that loves football, and I love coaching them, man. So we'll need them, and whatever the motivations will be, it's not like I'm the one that has to come up with the ideas to leverage it. For me personally, I want to focus on what we can accomplish, and doing it in the short term, knowing that the long term, the vision of it is going to be, days from now by the time we get there Saturday.
But real quickly, how did you come out of the Tech game health-wise? I think I saw John Nelson go off, but I can't think of any other.
I think John's the one that didn't come back. I think everybody else was good, got banged up, but were able to still come back. We'll still evaluate John. So he's not out for this week yet. We'll see. He's a tough kid, man. I think this is a game he wants to be in. He wanted to get back in the game on Saturday night. So but as far as season ending, none of that. And then we got some guys that are back and practicing. Whether they're able to play, that's another story. Tal Nalfree's practicing. He's been practicing with us for a week and a half now, and so it's just a matter of they can handle the difficulties of a game and the physical part of it. But I'm trying to think anything else. But anything else is injuries. But I think that's where we're at. Well, it was good to see Aiden. Aiden's been practicing for a little bit. We got clear for him to go through the physical part of the game, and I'm glad he did. Did that help, Jay?
Okay.
Yes, thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Coach, thank you for your time. We're not going to take any more of it. Hope you have a great week.
That's it. Sorry, guys. I see the hands over here. Tough luck. I'm sure it was going to be something really important, like my outfit or something like that. Appreciate you guys. Go Cougs.
Thanks, Kalani.
Lots of food questions this year.
Food? Yeah, there was a lot.
Sorry, guys. We've got Cody Epps ready for us. So if you do have any questions for Cody, you can go ahead and start raising your hands. Hi, Cody. How are you?
How you doing? I'm good.
Doing good. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Let's just jump into some questions. We'll go ahead and start with Jared Lloyd and then John Kuhn.
Cody, when we talked to you last week, you were very much on the personal responsibility thing. You wanted to up your game. How did you break down your own performance against Tech?
I feel like I was really pleased with myself in the run game. My ability to block on the perimeter, my ability to hold up blocks so we could push the run game, forward and keep moving the chains as best as possible. I feel like I did a really good job of that. I definitely want to capitalize on when I get the ball in my hands, making moves and making people miss tackles on me, so I could help the run game, of course, in our offense and our pass game. So there's a lot that I need to work on going into this next week. We're going to have a big challenge ahead of us, just like this one was a great challenge for us. But, of course, in the run game, I feel like I did a pretty good job.
Some of your boys have made some pretty impressive one-handed grabs this year, including Darius in the last game. What's that like to watch that and see that happen? And as a receiver, when you get those opportunities to make a play like that?
It was pretty cool to see. I was pretty shocked. I can't remember the defensive back's name on Texas Tech, but we were kind of watching as the ball went up in the air and Darius grabbed it with his one hand, and me and the DB looked at each other like, dude, that was one of the craziest things we've ever got to see live time on a football field. So, and of course, yeah, like Chase had one early in the year. So just watching those dudes make those crazy catches that they've been making in practice this whole time is kind of cool to see that it happen in a real game and fans to be able to see that and to get that momentum. So it's always great, especially when guys deserve it. They've been working so hard. Darius has been working so hard and just playing at a very high level. So it's pretty cool to see.
When you were battling injuries and trying to get healthy and get back on the field, what did you kind of focus on in terms of making sure you kind of stayed up with the offense and were able to come back in and contribute right away and not really have to knock off any rust, so to speak?
I think the biggest thing is, just staying locked in mentally. I think I've been in this offense for quite some time now, so there's not a lot of There's of course nuances every week that we try to change. We don't change too much, but we just trying to fix up on the small details and refine things. So I wasn't missing out on too much early on, but just staying locked in and making sure that I'm there. I'm very present in meetings. I'm present on the football field. I'm present when Coach Fest or Coach Arod is talking about those little details that we need to tune up, and just making sure that when my opportunity comes, I have the right mindset and I'm able to step in and say, hey, I'm ready to take on anything that my coaches need me to do. And one of those things like this game was the run game, and I wanted to make sure that I could be counted on and the ball could come to my side and run behind me. So. Yeah.
Go Jay Drew and then Sean Walker.
Okay.
Hey, Cody, I got to ask you about that hat as a kind of a NASCAR guy myself. Are you into that?
No, I'm not a NASCAR guy. This is a pretty sick hat. I just love these old throwback hats, so I just copped it.
Like it. Hey, just wondering, BYU's had a history of success going in when they're a heavy underdog. A few years ago, they beat Wisconsin. They've always played Texas really tough. Have the coaches, as players, other teammates kind of impressed that upon you guys? Are you guys kind of aware of that ability you've had to rise up in the past?
It's so funny when that question comes up, because when we're in the locker room and we're around each other, I don't even think we talk about it in that aspect or that regard. Each and every week, we're just focused on having fun at practice, making jokes, our true blue heroes during the week. And then when it's time to dial it up, it's time to dial it up. I don't think we think about it any other way than just going out there and just having fun and playing football and knowing where to line up, knowing what play is called, and just going forward with that. So.
You'd think I know how to turn off my mic by now, Cody, but I don't.
It's all good.
I was just kind of going back a little bit. You touched on this some, Cody, but now that it seems like you're as healthy as you've ever been, 100% kind of full go after a slower start to the season, injury-wise for you. Has it been a tough start for you, just kind of, I don't want to necessarily say struggling, but I guess sort of struggling from game to game, week to week, trying to get healthy, trying to get better? Has that been, how big of a challenge has that been for you, I guess?
It takes a heavy toll, and it pulls on you a lot, just because everything that I do, me coming here to this university, me going to class every day, all of that kind of is aligned with me wanting to compete on the football field, wanting me to make big plays for my team, wanting me to make my coaches proud, my family happy, make myself happy. So it can be very challenging week to week when you want to play, but you're dealing with a nagging injury like a hamstring. It can be very frustrating, but I think the biggest thing is just understanding my why and using perspective to keep me pushing and keep me motivated, so that when my opportunity does present itself, that I'm not still thinking about what is happening or what's not happening for me. So it can be challenging, but just having great people around me, and then having a great mindset towards it helps a lot.
All right, we'll have a couple more questions from Jason Shepard and then Jake Hatch.
Cody, anytime that you get an opportunity to face a top 10 team, it's going to be a big matchup and it's going to be a big opportunity. Can you speak to that, but also with the added layer of it now being a conference game and having conference implications? Just what type of opportunity this is for you guys?
I think this is the biggest opportunity, just because it's a football game that we're allowed to play. Whether it's a top 10 team, whether it's a unranked team, or I think the biggest thing for us is just week in and week out, we treat every single game like it's the greatest game we can have, because you never know when it's going to be your last game, and you never know if you going to have that opportunity again. So definitely the challenge of having a top 10 team is fun. It's exciting. It's a lot of focus and preparation that's going to be put into it. But we don't look at it any differently than each and every game that we have to play. But Texas has been playing really well. They've been doing a lot of good things. They're having a great season. But we're just going to have to attack it the way we need to and focus on us at the same time. So.
Cody, the offense has had less than 300 total yards 5 times in 7 games this year. Is there a concern level from you as players about that paltry output yardage-wise?
No, I don't think we. Something that we talk about a lot is just the fact that there's a lot of less snaps now with the college rule change where the clock continues to run. There's a lot of less snaps, so of course there's going to be stuff statistically that is not the best appeal to the people that are looking at stuff like that and the data and stuff like that. But for us, we're just trying to, get victories, and we're trying to put a lot of effort out there. We're trying to play with a lot of emotion, play with a lot of intensity, and have fun. So as long as we're getting our job done, I don't think anybody in the locker room, especially that I know of in the receiver room, nobody's coming in talking about stats. We're just happy to see Darius make a great one-handed catch. We're so happy to see Chase on the 2-yard line be able to make that play, one-on-one coverage, and get the touchdown for us, and LJ to make that big run on the second play of the game. Like, those are the things that we look to, and when we go to team meetings, those are the stats that we're proud to see, and how we're doing on special teams. How are we changing the game from a special team vantage point so that we can have a great field position going on offense, and then make them have a longer field on defense. Those are the stats that we're looking at as a team, not necessarily personal stats or yards or things like that.
Okay, Cody, we'll just have one last question for you from Jared Lloyd.
No problem.
Cody, Shep touched on this. This is an opportunity this week, and you mentioned how you want to treat it like every other game, which makes sense. Let's project for a second. How cool would it be to go into Austin and get a win and come back home with a win over a top 10 ranked team?
Yeah. I mean, it'll be amazing. It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be my first time ever even seeing their stadium. Going to play in that environment. I heard that environment is rocking. It's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. So it's a great opportunity. It's going to be a great time. But at the end of the day, business trips are business trips. You can say you're going to take a business trip in Osaka, Japan, and you go do all the fun stuff and all that. But at the end of the day, you got to go get business done, and you got to come back home with production, and you have to come back home with the product. So, like I said, you can travel anywhere, you can go sightsee, but when it comes to business, we have to make sure that we're getting business done. So.
Okay, thanks, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the questions for today.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, everyone, we're going to limit these next 2 players just to 1 question each, just because we're running out of time here. So next up, we're going to have Jackson Cravens. Hi, Jackson. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we're going to jump right into some questions. Let's go, Jared Lloyd.
Jackson, good to see you. Just wanted to ask a little bit. You guys forced a bunch of turnovers, which is always a goal on defense, but still looking to get more pressure. What needs to happen to get in that backfield and disrupt what the other team wants to do a little bit more?
I think just pushing the pocket a little better. I think our DNs are doing a really good job off the edge, and I think the interior, as we continue to rush, just make sure to push the pocket, even if it's not a sack. We could force them out to the DNs. So.
Hey, Jackson.
Go ahead, Jay Drew.
How are you guys approaching this game? It's a big opportunity, top 10 team on the road, 100,000 fans. Just kind of what's the vibe and approach you guys are taking?
I think everyone's just really excited. We want to carry our momentum from this past game over to this game. Playing over at Texas, that's an opportunity. I'm sure we've all dreamed as kids, so everyone's really looking forward to it.
Next up, we'll have Jake Hatch and then Kevin Reynolds.
Yeah, Jackson, you're kind of in the middle of the Big 12 slate here. I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts as you're a guy that made the jump up to the Power 5 level alongside BYU, how the experience has been so far.
It's been awesome playing in the Big 12. It's been an experience that I have been looking for a while, and also playing at BYU. It's been a lot of fun. It's a super competitive league, and it seems like every week everyone's pretty good. So it's been a lot of fun.
Hey Jackson, obviously you guys have faced two really good running backs the last 2 weeks and then another one this week. How would you assess how you guys have stopped the run so far, and what do you see from Texas in terms of the running game?
I think we've stopped the run really well, especially last game. We were pretty stout up front, and overall I would say that was a plus in the game. And then Texas, they obviously have a really good run game, really good back. He runs hard, and we're going to have to be playing our blocks the right way and getting off them and making tackles.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, it appears that you guys are going to be the third straight week of facing a backup quarterback, as Quinn Ewers is expected to miss this game. Does it change, like, for you guys having this experience going up against other backup quarterbacks, anything for you in terms of preparation?
Honestly, not really. We kind of just treat every quarterback the same. I mean, at this level, I feel like most QBs are pretty good, backup or not. So we will just prep the same.
Go ahead, Jared.
Jackson, they converted a couple of big plays on a 4th down, on a 3rd and 18 last week. As a defender, do you take that personal? Do you look at it and be like, okay, we can't allow that to happen? How do you kind of handle those, when the opponent makes those types of plays in those moments?
Yeah, of course, it's frustrating as a defense when you get them in a situation we like to get them in, and then they convert. But I think that's just something we can work on this week in practice. It's when we get them to that point, we got to stop them, especially when we get them in a spot we like them to be in. So.
Okay, Jackson, thanks so much for your time. That's all the questions for today.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, Jackson.
Have a great week.
You too. Yep, thank you guys.
All right, next up is Paul Maile.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Let's go ahead and have some questions. Let's go Jared Lloyd and then Ron Weaver.
Paul, this offense last week, there were moments where it was really clicking, looked great, made some big plays, and then there were some times where it seemed to kind of, fall off and not play as well. Kalani was talking about the need for consistency as a player on that O-line. What needs to happen for this offense to ramp up that consistency a little bit?
I feel like just getting in the rhythm, football's a big, whoever can get the momentum, get a rhythm going type of game. So I feel like just, not going 3 and out and just building on those drives, getting those long drives, and getting a mix of establishing the run. And then if you establish the run, then the pass will be open. So I think it's just trying to get those longer drives and, trying to stay on the field as long as we can. And, of course, ultimately just score points, score more points.
Paul, you guys have been trying to establish the run game in the last couple of games. How do you assess what you guys were able to do on Saturday and LJ's run to start off? Do you feel like they can give you guys the energy to get the run game going after the struggles the last couple of weeks?
Yes, sir. LJ's run, second play of the game was big time, And it definitely had a big boost on the rest of the game. It's just like, it only takes one play to get that spark, trying to get everyone going. And LJ's big run at the beginning of the game was big time for sure. And, I feel like the run is there. It's just we're always one block away. And O-line and, offense in general, it's like everyone's got to be on the same page. So I feel like it's just consistency, like as we've been saying, and then just everyone doing their 111, making sure they do their jobs and straining into the whistle.
Okay, next we'll have Sean Walker and then Jay Drew.
Hey, Paul, I know this wasn't his first game back, obviously, but it seems like Agent Zero, old Cody Epps, old man Epps out there, had probably his best game of the year so far. He's looking a little bit more like what we've seen from him the last couple of years, I guess. Well, what's it mean for this offense having Cody Epps back in the lineup? Fully healthy Cody Epps, I guess.
It's big time. I mean, Cody's it's already obvious what he can do on the football field, but just having his leadership, you know what I mean, was big time for that receiver group and for our offense in general. So he definitely brings a whole different, you know what I mean, a whole different type of weapon to our offense. So it was big having him back.
Hey, Paul, I got two questions. One, how do you feel about the position switch the last two games with Connor? And two, just what is Texas's brand in your eyes? What does it mean to you guys to go into the top 10 team on their field and play?
Yes, sir. So to answer the first question, the position switch, I've honestly loved it. You know what I mean? I haven't played guard in a while, but I started off as a guard before I played center at Utah. And playing guard, like, center's a really tough position. You know what I mean? You got to be like the quarterback of the offensive line. You're in control of so much. So I feel like it's what the team needed. And honestly, I've enjoyed it so far. CPA's doing a great job at center. And, I mean, we just got to keep everything clicking, you know what I mean? Keep the ball rolling. And then what was the second question again? Sorry about that.
Just the opportunity that lies in front of you guys playing at a top 10 team in Texas, kind of a blue blood, and just kind of what the vibe among the players is, and the excitement level going in there.
I'm excited, you know what I mean? And I feel like the vibe of the team is everyone's really excited, you know, playing a big-time team like Texas. And as you're saying, I mean, a blue blood, they're usually always really good. So, I mean, going in there with the chip on our shoulder and trying to just, you know what I mean, I feel like we still haven't played a full team game. So if we can start early and just play our brand of football, you know, I feel like we can compete with anyone. But definitely excited for the opportunity. I know they got a really good defense and a really good squad.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, Paul, you've played your entire career at the Power 5 level. Does games of this magnitude against the likes of Texas, even just playing in the Big 12, does it change anything in your mind, or is it all the same?
I mean, it's definitely a big-time game. You know what I mean, 100,000 fans or something like that. So definitely excited. But at the end of the day, blessed to play just a kid's game. You know, football's football. At the end of the day, it don't matter where we're playing. If we're playing at East High School, you know what I mean, in Salt Lake, or playing in Austin, Texas, I'm excited. So it's going to be fun.
I also just wanted to ask you, in terms of you have the background having been in the Pac-12 versus the Big 12, is there a difference in the brand of football, or you mentioned it is football, but is there a difference in the style, I guess, of the two?
Not really a huge difference. I mean, a lot of really good D-lines. I feel like the Big 12 has a lot of really good D-lines. I mean, every D-line we've played has been really good, so I feel like that's the biggest difference. But I feel like the similarity is, like, anyone can beat anyone any week, you know what I mean? Even, like, you've seen, like, the Oklahoma-UCF game, and I feel like there's a bunch of games like that every week. It's always going to be a bloodbath for 4 straight quarters, and I feel like that's how the Pac was. It's just anyone can beat anyone any week.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I think that's all the questions for today. Appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all time, man. Thanks for having me.